imported your video into Adobe Premiere, then we need to drag it to our timeline just like this. Once we've done that, then we need to label our sound effects. At the beginning, we have the tires treading for Wally. So I can either press the Add Marker button here, and you can see the marker appear, or you can use the shortcut, which is M. And you can see if I click on different places and just press M on the keyboard, I'm dropping a bunch of markers. Now I'm going to use Command Z on the keyboard to undo each of these actions so that we can go back to the beginning. Now, I added this one for the tire treads, the sound that Wally makes while he's moving. So I'm going to double click on this marker, and now I can type in the name, tire treads. I'm going to make my sound effects blue, and I'm going to press OK. Now, if you wanted to, you don't have to do this, but you could also change the duration of this. So instead of it just being 1 moment, I could click this duration and drag it out, and now you can see it's a longer action. So I could actually take this like from the beginning of the sound until the sound stops right there. And now if I zoom in by clicking this bubble here, you can see that the marker is not at just 1 moment, but it's over the whole course of that sound. And that's just up to you, something that can be helpful. So let's say that I go to this sound where he runs over the cockroach. I'm going to pull this to right when he smashes the cockroach. I'm going to press Add Marker, double click, and then I'm just going to put crunch, make it blue. Now, the easiest way to mess with your markers is to go over here to the project panel, and you see that it says project here. That's going to show you your videos and audio. But we actually want to go to the right here. We can click on this and find markers, or we can kind of scroll over with our mouse until we see it. And if I click on markers and then select my timeline, it's going to show me all the markers that I have here. And I can click on those, and you'll notice that when I click on them, the playhead is actually moving over here in the timeline. And I can go in, I can change their names, I can change when they begin, when they end with the in and out point right here. And I can organize them. I can say, only show me the blue ones, only show me the orange ones. So that's going to help us when we are capturing our dialogue and sound effects and adding it in. Now, one of the easiest ways to record your dialogue and sound effects is just to press the record button. So we don't have anything on this track. So if I press this record button for the voiceover, it's going to count down from 3, 2, 1, and then it's going to record whatever I say or do. And you can hear that kind of awkward echo because I'm both recording right now and playing back. So once you have recorded, you can treat this just like any other clip. You can move it around. You can shorten it. In fact, you could even change the time. Like if we right-clicked on it and said speed duration, we could slow it down, make it super slow, so it sounds completely different. The big thing is you want to make sure that the sound sounds good without the original audio. So if we just mute with this M button, if we mute the original clip, then we can hear what our new audio sounds like. Now that's not a good sound. I'm just using it as an example. But remember, we can mute, and if you just want to hear the sounds in this track, you can press the S button. And you'll notice that S for solo will mute everything else. So you can mute one track or solo and mute everything. So just like we learned with our video about dialogue in film and how important it is to be able to hear the dialogue, we got to make sure that these sound effects sound good together. So remember that you can always double click on a track to open it up, and then you can use this line to raise your audio up or down. And if you're using Adobe Premiere 2025, it actually has a new feature where you can click on this and the volume just appears right here. and you can see the volume meter here, or you can just click mute like that. So that can be really helpful for adjusting that. Most of the sound effects that we have in the scenes should be in the background. They shouldn't be super loud. If you're doing a scene that has dialogue, we want to make sure the dialogue is louder than the sound effects so we can hear everything that's being said. Okay? The last thing I'll say is if you have these markers, one nice thing about having the markers is you'll notice that your clips will just snap to them. See how when I go here, it's actually snapping on this line to line up with that. And same thing is true here. I can snap to the beginning here, snap to the end. And that's why we make these markers, is so we know where to put our clips, and also so we can easily just stick them in and not have to worry about them being in the right place. So make sure you got those markers there, make sure you add in your clips, and then after you add in all of your sound effects and dialogue, you can start messing with the audio to make sure everything sounds good. After we're done here, just like we normally do, we're going to go to Export. We will name our project, Foley Sound Project. We'll make sure that the location has the desktop selected so we can easily find that file on the desktop. And we just want to make sure that the format is in H.264. Now, if I click and drag through here, you'll notice I actually made a mistake because I can't see my video. So let's go back to editing and see what I did. So I'm going to zoom out here. And what happened is I actually accidentally made an in and out button, or in and out segment in the timeline. So if you see a gray segment like this, we need to get rid of it, because when you go to export, you're only going to export that section. So I'm going to right click on this, say clear in and out, and now when I go to export, I'm going to see that I can drag through the whole video, and even right here it says that it's 1 minute and 18 seconds long. There's some info here. You don't need to know about all of this, but you can see the file size is going to be 12 megabytes. The length of the video is going to be 1 minute, 18 seconds, which you can see here too. And you can see the resolution as well, which is going to be locked into whatever the resolution was for the clip I gave you. So I'm going to rename my file, or my project here. I'm going to make sure I am on the desktop, H.264. I'm going to click through to make sure that everything looks good, and then I'll just hit that export button. Once that's done, I should find my video on the desktop.